So this is Bubba. This is the one that his previous trainer was afraid to get on. And he's been doing pretty good. Sometimes I lunge him, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on how he's acting that day. As you see, he's still looking around a lot. But he seems, his body is less tight and less locked on the other things. So I'm not going to focus on doing groundwork to work on that right now. I've had quite a few people message that he needs more groundwork, and I'm not going to. I don't think that is going to fix the problem. I actually think that is what created some of the problem. To get his front feet a little better. So I am not going to do more groundwork with him to do more of what created the problem. Instead, I'm going to work him from the saddle. Wasn't paying attention there and walked off. Now he's paying attention. Don't put your mouth on me. I'm going to wait until he settles. I'm never going to swing my leg over on a horse when they're walking around. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay there and I'm going to wait for him to get still. That is a bad habit to get into. You swing your leg over and the horse is moving. It's going to set your balance off. It's going to set his balance off. And many young or green horses, it's going to get you in trouble. It's going to spook the horse. It's going to get you bucked off and hurt. So I'll wait there until their feet get still, and then I'll swing my leg over and sit down. I'm gonna walk off this way. Now I'm just gonna start by walking, pointing his nose and walk. Turn him loose, ask him to walk. Now he's kind of deciding to go over there. I'm gonna pull him, go over here, turn your nose and walk. It's not much different than how you saw, you gotta walk. It's not much different than how you saw the last video end. It's time to get him out in the woods. I'm not quite ready to do it yet. I need him listening to me a little bit better. If you watch his ears, they're a lot better about coming back on me than what they were when we started. They're not as back on me, but they're not as locked forward either. So every time he pulls on my hands, we're going to turn directions, turn him and walk, turn him and walk. It's really important at this point when he pulls down, I don't try to pull his head back up. That's going to be counterproductive. That's just going to get him pulling more. I don't know what was done with him in the past. The way he kind of pulls on the reins, I get the feeling that he had too much pulling with both reins too quick. That usually causes this problem. I don't know if that's what caused it this time or not, but that usually causes that problem. Turn and go. And as you see, I'm using my legs. I still don't have spurs on him. I will be adding spurs very soon. I need to start some lateral body control. But right now, it's his bending and go that needs the work. Pulled on me, change directions and go. Change directions and go. Let's ask him for a trot, and let's see what we get. There we go. Notice how I have his head? That way I can turn him to the wall to slow him down. If he got too fast, too strong. I don't want to pull back on both reins. I want to do basically what I'm doing now. Bend him to the wall. It's real important to work it that way, because if I pull back with both reins, he's just going to pull forward. But by bending to the wall like I'm doing, you gotta do it when I ask you to do. That's going to start lifting his shoulder, engage his back in, and get him working with some balance, and make sure my steering is good. A little bit of right rein here. See how he bent his head around and lowered his ears and relaxed? That was actual lowering his head, not evading the bit. Turn to the left. Go straight. Turn to the left. Notice I'm doing basically the same thing I was doing in a walk. We're just doing it in a trot. Right now his trot is pretty irregular and bumpy. That's going to get better as he gets more round. I just rounded off of my right rein again. He doesn't feel stiff like he wants to buck or anything anymore. He did in the beginning. He actually feels pretty relaxed. Now what I have to do, work on his mind. His body needs some work. He's getting nice to the right. His body needs some work, but his mind needs more work. He started to lower his head and relax, and then he went on and put it down and pulled on my hands. Forward, forward, forward. Gotta have forward. There's a saying, I know you weren't steering, were you? Weren't listening to me. There's a saying that says if the feet aren't moving, you're not training. And I've talked in the past about that's not true. There's a lot of ways you can be training and the feet not be moving. In his case, he needs his feet moving to accomplish what he needs done right now. Not always the case, but that is the case with him. I just realized I forgot to water my arena before we started filming. Go back to trot again. Send it forward, a little squeeze there. I released the rein, I squeezed him forward with my legs. This is all really important for developing balance with the horse that really don't know how to move, don't know how to round. Let's go this way, change it up a little bit. There we go, see? He had in his mind where he wanted to go, and then when I changed it up, he put his head down and pulled on me. That's the mental work that he needs. I need to keep him guessing about what we're doing. He wants to go left, we're gonna go right. He wants to go right, we're gonna go left. See if we can go straight a little bit. Now let's go left. Many trainers just totally skip this part because it's really boring to do, so it's really important. See if we can get a whole circle in. Now when I do this circle, I'm not going to just pull his head and hold it. Nope, you got to go forward. We're going to pull the circle in little pieces, and he fell apart because that was too much pulling at one time. Shoulders falling to the left. Let's go right. Pull, get soft. Pull, get soft. See if we can try a left circle now. Pull, soft. Pull, soft. Pull, soft. Now I'm going to be starting to vary how I pull depending on what he's doing. I'm not going to use the same pull all the time. I'm not going to just totally really punish him hard for pulling on me. Back to trot. But I'm also going to let him know that's not acceptable either. So when I pull and he's pulling, my pull is going to be different. I'm going to pull further through I'm gonna pull a little bit quicker. And I'm gonna hold that pull a little bit longer. As long as he gives, I'll release. It started to go down, but I was right when I released. Hanging on me, pull a little harder, drive the back end through. Key to this is in the back. I talked about that in one of the other videos I've done with it. Nope. Pull kind of hard, let's go back forward again. Pull kind of hard, let's go back forward again. As long as he's nice on my hands, I'll be nice with the reins. If he's not nice on my hands, I'm gonna be a little bit harder with the reins. I have my heavy ring snaffle bit on him. It has a smooth sweet iron mouthpiece with heavy rings on the sides. The bit weighs somewhere around 4 or 5 pounds. It's a really good bit for doing this kind of work. The weight of the bit encourages his head to want to keep up with the bit as I'm pointing his nose around. Still a couple turns into the wall, kind of close. And move, 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 move. Yeah, see how he just kind of fell on his front end in a stop. He didn't want to move out of it. Let's do that again. This is going to be important for developing my stop. Come on. You don't think of a stop as needing a strong push in the back end. I don't. Right offhand, that seems really weird. Why would you want the back end to push when you stop? But the thing about it is, to get a good stop, no, let's turn. To get a good stop, the horse should be using his back end to engage that stop and stopping on his back end, keeping the front end up. So the first thing I have to do is get the back end engaged and under him to get that good stop. And I want that engagement to follow through, stay engaged when I turn him and ask him to leave. Otherwise, when he stops, he's just going to fall on his front end. Otherwise, when he stops, he's just going to fall on his front end, and that's going to be real incorrect. I get quite a few horses come in where the owner tells me that the horse is bucking when it leaves a barrel. Quite often it's the second barrel. When it goes to leave, it gives a little buck. Well, this is what causes that. They raided back and transitioned down, fell on their front end. Now the rider is kicking to try to leave the barrel. All the horse's weight's on their front end, and the only way to get the front end up to go is to throw a little buck. Generally, the horse isn't trying to be bad. It's just trying to do what the rider's telling him to do. That was a better trot departure. The horse is just trying to do what the rider's telling him to do. And the only way he can do that is throw a little buck. You actually fix that by teaching the horse to not fall on his front end when he transitions down. You do that by making him keep the front end up. That's how I rotate, and then push and leave the transition. What I'm doing here, the action is a lot different than going around the barrel, but if you think about the mechanics of what the horse needs to do, it's very similar. Come on. I'm running out of horse a little bit. I'll let him walk, catch your breath. I got to keep walking though. Keep walking. I'll let him walk a little bit, catch his breath. This is Bubba. This is the horse that the previous trainer was afraid to get on. I'll put a link up here to his other videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.